Hey, what is going on, guys? This is DK, back at you with another video here to break down the Sunday Night Showdown slate between the Packers and the 49ers. A couple things before I get into the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make videos for talking about daily fantasy with NFL as well as NBA. Also, I'm doing a weekly giveaway on this channel where all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video. It's one entry in the giveaway. Max one comment though per video. So it starts with my Monday Night Showdown video that I uploaded at the beginning of the week. We'll go throughout the week. We'll end up my Monday Night Showdown video that I'll upload probably tomorrow. So however many videos I've uploaded for the week, you end up giveaway that many times. So say if I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, you end up giveaway 10 times. And the winner receives a $20 PayPal for myself. But with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So first, before we get into the prices, let's look at the over-under and the spread, and then we can take a look at some snap counts here. So Green Bay and the 49ers sitting at 48, so definitely on the higher side as far as over-unders go, with the 49ers favored by 3 points. So let's take a look at some snap counts here for the 49ers. So the running back situation, Tevin Coleman and Mostert kind of split the snaps there with Matt Breida out. Breida's doubtful again, so kind of expecting the similar here with Coleman and Mostert going to most likely split the snaps. Again, Juszczyk is the fullback there. As far as the wide receivers go, so Emmanuel Sanders was playing big snaps. He got injured in back-to-back games. This one he hurt his ribs, but it looks like he's going to be good to go for this one. So that's why he kind of only played 47% of the snaps that last game. Deebo Samuel also banged up, played 79% of the snaps, but he also looks like he's good to go. Kendrick Bourne kind of looks like the number 3 receiver with, Goodwin and Richie James picking up a few snaps here and there. As far as tight ends go, so George Kittle, another guy that is questionable, but there's a decent chance that he plays as well. If he misses, we can look at Ross Dwelly, who was, played in 90% of snaps that last game with George Kittle out. As far as the Packers go, kind of the same for the running back situation, kind of even split with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams. So the snaps went way down in MVS. That's definitely something to consider. Went from 69 to 16%. Devontae Adams playing about 80% of the snaps with Geronimo Allison about 60%. So Kumro and Lazard picked up, a lot of those snaps with MVS being limited. So they gave it to Kumro, who played 34%, and Lazard, who played 44%. So that is something we'll have to consider going for the slate. As far as the tight ends go, Jimmy Graham's going to play probably 60 to 70% of the snaps with Mercedes Lewis picking up about, 40 to 50%. But that's kind of it for the snap counts and the over-under. So let's take a look at some of these prices. So at the top of the two quarterbacks, always on these showdown slates, the quarterbacks have the highest floor, right? So I don't necessarily think they have the highest upside, but they do have a pretty high floor. Aaron Rodgers at 10K, it's a tougher spot for him compared to Jimmy G, but he's the more talented quarterback. So, do with that information what you will. He's had back-to-back kind of disappointing games. We know Aaron Rodgers is basically matchup proof. Again, this is a tougher matchup, but it is Aaron Rodgers. And on the opposite side is Jimmy G, right? It's a better matchup for him, but he's not as talented as Aaron Rodgers. So it's kind of tricky. You can definitely play both. I'll talk about some value plays here in a bit where I think you can play both quarterbacks if you really want to. It's a higher over-under, right? 48. So there should be some points scored in this one. So really don't have an issue with Jimmy G or Aaron Rodgers. And again, I think you could play both if you want to. As far as the running backs go, so Aaron Jones is listed at 9.6K. Again, he's kind of splitting the snaps with Jamal Williams, but he's had a few big games here this season. He had 3 touchdowns last game against Carolina. A couple games before that had 44 fantasy points. So I think the upside is obviously higher on him versus Jamal Williams, but Jamal Williams is still getting a decent amount of work too. So again, I think the upside is higher in Aaron Jones, but if you want to take the savings on Jamal Williams, I don't hate that. It's a 3K savings, and Jamal Williams is still going to get decent work. 13 carries that last game. He'll get utilized a decent amount in the pass game. So again, if you want the savings, don't hate Jamal Williams, but I think Aaron Jones does have the more upside. Then Devontae Adams is listed at next here at 9.4K. He's the Aaron Rodgers go-to guy. I have no issue at all. He's going to get basically play the whole game and get targeted a lot, right? 15, 11, and 10 targets the last 3 games. Again, there's really not a whole lot of downside to say about Devontae Adams besides the tougher matchup, but like I said, he's Aaron Rodgers' number 1 guy. As far as the running backs go for San Francisco, with Tevin Coleman and Mostert, neither have really flashed huge upside. 9K kind of feels like a lot to pay for Tevin Coleman. He had that one big game against Carolina where he did have 3 touchdowns. But other than that, it's been kind of held in check. So I think he's more of a guy I would consider just because I think he's going to be low owned, but I don't necessarily think he's the best play. Again, if we look at where is Mostert here, again, Breida's doubtful. I think I would probably prefer Mostert for almost the 5K difference. Still played in 50% snaps. Now, didn't get as much work as Tevin Coleman, but again, you're getting a 5K savings. So I think I would slightly prefer him to Tevin Coleman just because the price tag's there. And then we get to the 3 guys that are all questionable, but leaning towards probable, it looks like. Emmanuel Sanders had this rib injury. It's kind of a pain tolerance thing. George Kittle has a good shot to return, they're saying. And then Deebo Samuel as well expected to play. So these guys all expected to play, but all are a bit banged up. So there's obviously risk here anytime you target a guy that's banged up, right? We saw it, I forget what it was, like a month ago. Sammy Watkins came back, that hamstring injury, and then he pulled it like right away. So there's obviously some risk with targeting guys who are coming back from injury. But these are the main 3 targets, so Sanders, Kittle, and Samuel. I think Kittle and Sanders would be my preferred targets just because they're all similarly priced. I think Kittle and Sanders have more upside than Samuel. But again, all 3 very much in play. The risk is that they're coming back from the injury. But San Francisco, we know where the targets are going to, right? It's Sanders, it's Samuel, and Kittle. They eat up most of those targets. So I have no issue with any of those 3 guys. Let's see, again, Jamal Williams, if you want to take the savings there off Aaron Jones, don't hate that at all, 6.6K. Breida, doubtful, so I fully expect it to be a kind of a 50-50 split with Coleman and Mostert. Ross Dwelley would be a guy I would get to if George Kittle misses. It's looking like George Kittle's going to play, so probably can't go there. But if Kittle does miss, I think Dwelley is very much in play. So that will be something we have to monitor going into tomorrow. The defenses, the 49ers defense at home, they've been really, really solid this year. It is a higher over-under game, but again, they're playing really well and a home defense. I prefer targeting the home defenses versus the road defenses. So I think I would consider the 49ers there, even though they are going against Aaron Rodgers. Kendrick Bourne, kind of the number 3 receiver there, 4.6K, had 8 and 6 targets the last couple games. So I think he's playable there. He played on 70 and 55% of snaps the last couple games. So I think he is worth consideration there at 4.6K. Now, MVS, unless we get clarity that he's going to play more snaps, I just can't do it because they really limited his snaps to, 16%. The 2 kickers, the kickers for a GPP lineup are always, in play. I wouldn't play both, but, one of those kickers, a kicker can get you like 10 to 15 fantasy points. So Crosby, McLaughlin are very much viable there. Lazard at 3.2K is another guy that I don't feel great about, but if MVS is going to continue to be limited, Lazard has seen some decent snaps the last couple games, right? He's played, where's Lazard? 46 and 44% of snaps, so almost half the game. And at 3.2K, that is a pretty cheap price, and it allows you to get those studs in your lineup. So I definitely think Lazard is viable. Geronimo Allison, I do like a good amount here at 2.8K. He's been playing, 65-ish% of the snaps, and he's a guy that, again, 2.8K is a really cheap price, and it opens up, if you play him, it opens up a lot of those guys up top. So Geronimo and Lazard, very, very much considering there at 2.8K and 3.2K respectively. The Packers D, don't hate it, but I think I prefer the 49ers D for a bit more. Wilson Jr. didn't get like any snaps at last game, so unless we get confirmation he's going to be back in the running back rotation, don't think I can go there. Pettis, it's kind of just a dart throw. He played, only 3%. Yeah, so I probably can't do that. Use checking on the fullback. He does get worked a little bit here, right, in the passing game. Actually had 7 catches that last game. I don't think we can expect that again, but I think he's, a dart throw for tournaments. Goodwin played, what did he play on? 30% of snaps. Another guy that you're not going to feel great about, but I think he's worth a dart throw. Kumaro played on, let's see. He played in 34%, so if MVS can continue to be limited, I think he's, again, another guy you can throw a dart with, but you're not going to feel great about it. Mercedes Lewis at 600. You got to hope he gets like a short touchdown catch. But that's really it. So I think the value plays that I kind of like as right now are Geronimo Allison, Lazard, Either kicker, very much viable, and then Mostert. I think those guys are the ones I'm considering, and then Dwelly would be a guy I would look to if George Kittle doesn't miss. But let's talk about some captains here. So normally quarterbacks are never, I don't really consider them for captain spot unless they have rushing upside. Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy G, not really, they don't really have a lot of rushing upside. So I think they're okay, but probably not going to be the way that I go personally. Now, if you do go with one of those guys in the captain spot, so throw like Aaron Rodgers in the captain, make sure you get some correlation. So make sure you're running back with a couple of receivers. Same thing with Jimmy G. The running back situation is kind of the same thing again with both teams. It's going to be like a 50-50 split with Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, also with Tevin Coleman and Mostert. So I don't think the running backs have huge upside, so that's why I'm probably not going to go there for the captain spot. Now, guys I do kind of like for the captain spot are Davante Adams. We know he's his #1 guy, 9.4K. I do like the price there. One of the San Francisco guys with like Sanders or Kittle I kind of like. And then you could take a shot with the cheap guys, like one of those cheap Packers receivers with Geronimo Allison or, Lazard. Mostert's okay there at 4.2K. Again, I think he gets a little bit more work with Noah Breida. But that's really it. So I think if you're going to make me choose who's probably my favorite captain, I think it would be Davante Adams. I do like the price there, and we know the upside is pretty big with him. If you're going to go with a cheap guy, I mean, say you can throw in, I don't know, say we throw in either Geronimo Allison there at the captain spot, then that's, 9.1K remaining. You can basically get whoever else you want in your lineup, right? You can get both quarterbacks. You can get, like, Devontae, and then you got, like, 8.3K remaining. So don't hate that build either. Probably going to go with one of those two options for me personally. Again, I'll probably go with Devontae, the captain, or with, like, a cheap guy. So that's what I'm looking at for this showdown slate. But I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content, would really appreciate if you could like this video and subscribe. Again, if you want to get entered in the giveaway, all you do is a like and a comment in the video that's one to the giveaway. I will be back for another video to break down the Monday night showdown slate. Probably we'll have that up tomorrow, and that's also where I'll announce the winner to the $20 PayPal giveaway. If you're interested in NBA, I uploaded my video for the 4-game main slate on Sunday. That's already up on my channel. But again, thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it. I will see you later.